Welcome to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship, where we keep it real about what it takes to build, grow, and thrive. Here, you'll hear the unfiltered journeys of women entrepreneurs from everywhere, the wins, the setbacks, the lessons, and the behind the scene truths of aligning, starting, and scaling our businesses with purpose. Because let's be real, this road ain't always pretty. From battling self doubt to juggling responsibilities and facing the pressures to have it all figured out, this hustle can be pretty heavy. That's why this space exists to fuel you with the motivation, drop strategic gems on the topics that matter most, and remind you you are not in this alone. This is the Woman's Hustle. Welcome back to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. It's your girl, Coach Kay. Before I get started with anything, I want you to make sure that you have subscribed to the Upgraded MindsetZ channel. I have a beautiful guest here with me today, and I'm just going to allow her to introduce herself. So, hello, hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you
Good.
for
Thanks so
asking.
much for joining us. Please let the listeners know who you are and what you do, baby.
So I'm Ashley Wynn. I have a business called Outstanding Organizers. Basically, I do in-person, virtual organizing, coaching, DIY organizing, a little bit of everything. I kind of cover the umbrella of organizing,
I
decluttering,
love
and
it.
time management.
Hey,
So
we definitely all need that, y'all. That's a fact. Even me, okay? So I'm super excited to dive into the conversation with her today. But I'm curious,
thanks.
Ashley, what got you started on this journey as an entrepreneur?
Um, well, what got me started as far as an organizer is I've always just been like super just type A, like things in a certain way, very tidy, very organized.
I get that.
Always organized for friends and family. I mean, since the beginning, pretty much. And then I was like, I really want to help other people just become more organized and better with time. It's such
I
a,
love
a
it.
skill that people just aren't born with. So just wanted to help. And I started to make it a business and kind of been rolling ever since.
I
So
love that. I
yeah.
think that that's important, because one thing that I know that I've learned along my journey as an entrepreneur is organization is like
Oh,
top tier priority, right?
yeah.
So
Huge.
many times, and we're both in the coaching spaces, so when people come to us, they are so unorganized, not
Yeah.
just from a physical perspective, like spaces and things like that, but mentally too.
Yeah.
And I know for me, like, I had to get on that journey because I used to just let my mind wander everywhere. It was like, "Oh, it is
Mhm.
what it is. I'm just gonna go with the flow." But going
Yeah.
with the flow is, like, one of the biggest causes of procrastination,
True.
stagnation,
True.
and things like that. I'm curious to know, and if you could share more a little bit about, how you combine the organization and kind of the coaching together.
So I first started just doing like in-person organizing for like family, businesses, really anyone who needed organizing. But then as I was doing it in person, I realized that a lot of clients, it's not just like I come in and organize their
Right.
space. There's something deeper. I have some clients are like, hey, I travel, I'm not here. It's like a one-time thing, which
Right,
is
right.
fine. But then most of them are like, hey, I'm struggling with this or struggling with that. And then even after I leave, they call me and say, oh my God, since my space has been cleaned up, I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter. Because when you're in a cluttered space, it does mess with you
It
mentally.
does.
And there's so many, like, studies and articles that I do research on pretty often about, like, the correlation between being in a cluttered space and then your mind being cluttered and the mental health
Mhm.
between the
Ooh,
2. So, there's so much there, but I've literally just learned that dealing with clients, hearing their stories, and just doing the research for it. So, there's so much correlation between the 2.
I
A
love
lot.
that. I love that you even took the time, right? Because
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
so easy to just go in, clean a space, and be like, "Hey,
Oh, yeah,
I'm done." But you really have like made this a science for yourself, and I think
yeah.
that that is super dope because we need that. I'm definitely in the mental health space, and
Mhm.
one thing that I do know is that we will suppress those things. We won't
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about them, and we won't try to put them together.
Right.
And like even with you from the organizational standpoint, how often have you had people they're like, "Oh, I don't wanna get rid of this because of this," right? They want you to come
Oh.
in and declutter, but there's certain things that they don't wanna let go of. How often do you see that?
Quite a bit.
Really?
Usually when I take most jobs, the first stage is always decluttering. It's usually always stage 1, going through whatever you don't need, whatever's expired, that
I
type of
bet.
thing, and then organizing what's left. I have a lot of clients that just don't want to get rid of stuff,
Mhm.
whether that's for an emotional reason, trauma reasons, maybe they spend a lot of money on it, whatever the reason is, they don't want to get rid of it, which is kind of the reason why I'm there to help
Yeah,
declutter their space. But there's so much emotional attachment to things in general. So it's kind of a tightrope that you do walk because you need to be able to clear up the space.
yeah,
So it's difficult, but you have to kinda just walk through it with the client and just, make sure that they're okay with getting rid of that thing and explain to them, "Hey, this is why you hired me, to get rid of this stuff, to clear the
right.
space, to clear the clutter, to clear your mind," and then it kind of usually flows from there.
Yeah.
So,
Do you work with women who may be like business owners and kind of doing like a little bit of everything, right? They have their home life, their mothers, their wives and things like that. But also they may still be in corporate America, they may still, have a business as well. How often do you see that? And like is your approach a little bit different or is it kind of similar?
I do. It's different, but I also work with a lot of women that are multitasking their
Mhm.
lives. A lot of them actually are, well, probably about half and half. Some are business owners, some have a 9 to 5, but
Okay.
the goal is the same, is to, like, streamline their everyday, their to-do. So, like, if I'm dealing with a client that has, like, some mental health or, like, maybe they can't function because maybe they're a stay-at-home mom and their kids, are one way or keeping their space cluttered, I would handle them differently than, like, an entrepreneur woman that maybe just doesn't have kids or maybe it's
Right.
just one child. So you
Yeah.
do handle everyone a little bit differently. It's not really like a one size fits all, but the goal is the same, is to streamline the space.
Yeah.
Like, that's the same goal. So, the
Yeah.
approach will be different, but the goal is, like, I need to get organized,
Yeah,
period.
and I
But
think we lack in that, right? We don't take that as a priority. And
yep,
with my own clients, the one thing they'll tell me is, "Oh, I don't have any systems in place. I'm just kind of going with the flow." As an
yeah,
entrepreneur, and especially as a starting entrepreneur, because with this podcast, I know I have listeners. Shout out to all of y'all that are different levels of their journey.
yep,
However, the organization has to apply from day one.
yep.
And I think because people feel like that they may not be making 7 figures or doing it, that there's no organization that needs to apply. And that is just not the case. Even for you personally, as you started the business, what steps did you feel like you had to take that
Yeah.
you may have been lacking in before that you're like, now those are my go-to systems and I'm not gonna change those.
Yeah, so one thing about being an entrepreneur too is, like, you don't have anyone making a schedule for you.
Mhm.
You go by you wake up and the day is kinda yours to kinda to flow with, so you have to make sure it's organized and it's maybe not hour by hour, maybe they have, like, time blocking, you kinda do
Yeah.
things at certain times, but starting my business, I was really intentional about, like, making sure I do what I need to do in the beginning, make sure that it makes sense. So, like, if I had to do, start the LLC or get the business bank account or whatever that is, I had a list, a checklist. I checked it off. I kind of stuck to it and then did something else different the next day.
Right.
So I think it's just a matter of just writing things down and, like, having a list and a plan for yourself from start to finish.
Yeah. And I think be okay with modifying those things, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sometimes people will be so upset because they might not have got everything done on the list, but let's just applaud ourselves for creating the list, right? Because
So,
that's a lot. I know for
so
me personally, the way this brain work, me having daily tasks, baby, that's them goals for me
yeah, for
because
sure.
I know that if I don't, I will fall off the map and
Yeah.
the shit that I supposed to have got done don't none get done.
Yep.
But I think I want us to make sure that we applaud ourselves for actually creating the
Totally.
strategies and the tools that we need to make it happen. Because, like you said, organization is key. It goes beyond the house, people. It
Oh yeah.
goes, into if you have a office space, as an entrepreneur. If you don't, you still have to have those systems in place. So I think the importance of talking about this will
Yeah.
kind of start embedding in your head, okay, what systems do I need to put in place to make sure
Yeah.
that I'm more organized? Because what I found is once I buckle down,
Yeah.
things elevated for me.
Yes, oh, totally. They
Yeah,
they go hand in hand, totally,
yeah.
totally. And you'll
So
feel it. You'll
you
feel it
will.
when things start to shift, like,
Yeah,
"Okay, this makes sense." Yeah,
yeah. I think, And even, like, with you and your experience, like, how do you think that, it actually helps with, like, the confidence and the decision-making skills that, we as women entrepreneurs need? Like,
Yeah.
I know that they go hand in hand, but I'd love for you to elaborate on that a little deeper.
Yeah, so for me, it's like once you kinda have a game plan for your business, it definitely makes it stronger and it makes you feel
Mhm.
like you got something done. Like I have a lot of clients that I coach with, that they feel like they don't get enough done in their day or in their week, but there's no strategic way that they're planning their week. So at the end of
Yeah,
the week, they feel like I got nothing done
right.
or not enough hours in the day or
Ooh,
this
I hear
getting
that
done.
so much.
Yeah, but it's all about how you plan those hours, you know? Things didn't get scheduled, doctor's appointments got missed or didn't get written down or whatever the case may be, but I think having a plan and having a system, having a solid to-do list
Yeah,
helps you build that confidence. And I even tell people when you have a to-do list, don't try to put like 20 things to do for
right.
one day. So if you have 20 things to do for the week, maybe assign 3 things to do for Monday, 3 things for Tuesday. Like you want to don't overwhelm yourself. You don't feel accomplished.
Mhm.
It's like
Yeah,
the expectation was a little bit too high for
yeah.
that day.
And we
So,
do. We set
yeah,
very high expectations.
yes.
And here's the
Yes.
thing, ladies, I'm not telling you not to think of yourself as the person that can achieve all end all, baby,
Sure.
because we are dope like that. Don't get it twisted. But sometimes
100%.
we do have to scale it back because we want to be productive, not just busy. We
Yeah.
always are talking about, oh, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy. I don't even use that word busy no more. I'm productive.
Same.
So if I did get 3 things done, guess who's celebrating at the end of the day? Me,
Yeah.
because I got those things done because I was organized to put them together. One thing I also will recommend is don't wait until the day of to create that to-do list,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Um, I had to learn this, these are my experiences too. Like I have a daily to-do list and I have a weekly to-do list. Now,
Mhm.
I ain't got as far as monthly, y'all. I don't,
I
right?
dare you.
Because those things can fluctuate.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I definitely make sure that I have my day to day and then I definitely make sure that I have the weekly. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the week or Sunday morning is generally when I kind of go through
Yeah.
my to-do list and see what got done, what got checked off, if I need to restructure some things. Sometimes outside influence can make you have to redo things too, right? So
Oh,
that's one
yeah.
thing as you are on your organizational and time management journey, ladies. Be okay if something outside of your control
Yep,
had made you had to adjust something on your to-do list. Don't
yep,
blame that on yourself. Don't put
yep.
that on you. I just wanna make sure that I encourage y'all. You can't control everything. I'm a control freak, y'all. I get it. But I understand that sometimes I have to might maybe reroute some things because something
Yeah,
happened outside of my control.
yeah,
So I
very true.
definitely wanted to, be mindful of that. So I want to ask you, Ashley, how do you stay aligned as an entrepreneur and balancing everything from day to day? I know that you love to do what you do, but how do
Yeah.
you keep yourself in love with what you do?
Well, I stay aligned by I like live by my calendar. I
Mm,
have like a physical handwritten calendar that has
nice.
all my life in there. My daughter plays a lot of softball, so all of her games are in there. My appointments, her appointments, everything. So I go to one place. So before I even say yes to anything, I look at that calendar, make sure I'm not overbooked, I don't have anything going on, and then I'll agree to it. So that keeps my life aligned. Is like having everything in one central place. And that just makes me feel like I just know, like I have control of my life
Yeah,
too, as well.
yeah,
So I feel like sometimes life gets away from us. Like again, we overbook, we underbook, don't write things down, we forget about stuff. So having a list or like a calendar helps you just keep it all together, so you
yeah.
know what you have going on.
I agree.
So
I
definitely
agree with
helps
that. I
for
have
sure.
several calendars. Like, I have
Yeah.
a calendar on my phone, I have a calendar at my desk, I have a notebook, like, I have several different calendars because I
Yeah.
know how easy it is
Oh yeah.
to forget, to act like something wasn't scheduled, so that way, if I forget to put it on my phone, then I have the backup. Because if I'm at my desk and I'm talking to someone and I put it I'm like, "Okay, let me write it down." So,
Yep.
therefore and I may forget to put it in my phone, but it's on my reading calendar. So
Yep.
I think the
Yep.
importance and if you're somebody that knows that you forget things, right? Let's be
Mhm.
accountable for a second. If you are somebody that knows you forget things,
Yeah.
let's be okay with having those extra things
Yeah,
for us to stay in tune
sure.
with ourselves,
You
right?
have to have it. You have to.
Absolutely. I agree. So, if I, one more thing I wanted to ask you before we get ready to wrap up is just how are you scaling yourself? Do you have like any things that are upcoming for you? But also things about making sure that you're prioritizing yourself because y'all know I am big on self prioritization. So I would
Same.
love to hear, what you're doing to keep yourself self prioritized.
I'm huge into self-care. I'm big into balance and downtime, uptime. I try to make sure, like you said earlier, not be busy, but be productive.
Yes.
So if I get 2 things done in a day, they're gonna be 2, like, things to move the needle, and I'm okay with that.
Good.
I don't have to have, like, 15 I don't really work that way. If they're 2 big things, I feel accomplished, they're done, they're taken care of, and I can move on to the next day. So, that helps. That helps me scale too because now I can be more productive. So instead
Right.
of having to put little things on my calendar, I have more time to open up to take more clients, to do more workshops, things like that. So I
Yeah.
think people think you have to like be doing 1,000 things a day to be productive, and it's not really the truth. So that helps me scale, and it also helps me be able to give back to myself because now I can do the things that actually matter to me. By not trying to be busy. So self care is I'm huge into
Yeah.
that. That's so important
What's
for
some of
sure.
the tips that you would recommend for us busy and productive? Because I don't like the word busy, so I'm gonna take that back. So us
Productive.
productive, like what are some things that you would recommend for us to stay organized, but also stay intentional with ourselves?
So, I recommend people just to like take small bites of stuff. Like when you're thinking about like building a business or building maybe an addition to your business, don't try to think about the end goal right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Try to take small bites. Like I said, if you're starting a business, write the list of what needs to be done and then maybe chop it down into maybe getting 2 or 3 things done a day so you don't overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I tell all my clients. Like, even when I'm organizing a room, let's not think about the whole thing. Let's do one section at a time. And then eventually you'll look up and it's done. So, same thing. That is something that I use every day.
Good.
Also, write everything down.
Tell them
Uh,
again. Tell them again.
yeah, write everything down because sometimes, even when you're driving, you might have a thought of something. And I put it on my calendar, on my phone, like maybe make appointment, and I'll come back to it so I don't forget it. So write everything down, keep a calendar, keep schedule of your life so you know how to plan it. Because sometimes may not be enough hours in the day, but I think it's all in like how we're scheduling our day as
It is.
well. Whether you need to get up a little bit earlier or go to bed a little bit later at times, whatever that looks
Yeah, it
like for
is.
you. Meal prepping. And that all falls under like the time management umbrella. So, just having more control of your life, especially as women as entrepreneurs, like a 9 to 5, they kind of tell you, you work from this hours to this hours. When you're an entrepreneur, you're kind of creating your own schedule.
That part.
And that can be tricky. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna get up at 8. I'm gonna do calls from 8 to 11, 11 to 2. I want to do this. Just planning your life accordingly so that it doesn't get away from you and the day doesn't get away from you.
Yeah.
So those will be mine for sure.
I agree. And I'm gonna touch on the time management piece before we get out of here because that's one of the most critical things.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you have gotten up at 6:30 a.m. for the past 5 years, if you're scaling as a business owner, you may need to get up an extra hour earlier. I personally don't believe anymore in the whole there's not enough time in a day because I have broken
Mhm,
down my schedule into minutes. There are 1,440 minutes in a day. You have time to
mhm,
do what it
same.
is that you need to do. If you're intentional with it, you're purpose driven with it, you're gonna make the time.
Yep,
And whether you gotta get up earlier, whether you got to stop doom scrolling for a little bit, because let's be real, some of y'all get caught up in that doom scrolling and swear up and down y'all ain't got no
true,
time, but we gon'
true.
that's another topic. But what I'm telling you is be intentional with your time management. If you know
Yeah,
you are trying to build a legacy, a business, a product, a service, then guess what? You're going to have to either get up earlier, you're going to have to take away from something else to give yourself that
yep,
time because I do not believe in there's not enough time in a day. I
yeah,
used to, but the
yeah,
power of the mindset reconditioning, baby, because I
yep,
know if I didn't get something done and I look at my well-being schedule on my Facebook, because I've been on there too
So
long. Hey, that's a
yeah,
big accountability check for me. So guess what?
true,
Now I'm finna make sure because I
true.
remember looking at how long I was on there yesterday. So now today, I probably won't even see social media
Yeah,
because that's a part of being accountable for yourself.
that is true.
Yeah, just making sure that you are applying your time effectively will
Yeah,
cause you and allow you to be able to scale beyond your wildest dreams. But
so
it
true.
requires work, y'all. Habits need to be adjusted, mindsets need to be changed, organization needs to be priority, especially
Mhm.
when you know that you are a person that may have papers all over your desk. If you're somebody that's got a back seat full of stuff in your car, if you're a home office space, you don't even wanna walk in there,
Yeah,
then it's time to get some decluttering done.
mhm.
You know what
And
I'm
it's funny
saying?
because everything you just said are reason why people usually call me to organize.
Yep.
It's their office is full of clutter. I've organized cars before too. It's
Mm,
every space where they're
yeah,
just like, I just
it
don't
is.
that they're usually at that point, they're like, "Look, I just need help,"
Yeah,
and I come in, declutter it, all that. But yeah, what you just described, that's most people are usually at that point.
yeah.
So
And shout out to those that actually realize that they do need the help.
that part.
Because I think it's hard, and as women, we know that. We are the bearer of everything. We are
Yep.
nurturers. We are the ones that wanna be in control. We wanna make sure
Yep.
that we handling everything, and I get it, because baby, I get it, y'all. But being okay with asking for support is
Yeah.
not weakness. We are now knowing that as a strength and being okay with walking in that. So, all of your clients, I definitely want to give a shout out to them for acknowledging that they
Yeah.
need the help. But I also want to give a shout out to you because you identified a unique need. And instead of just going in cleaning up, you are actually providing supportive space as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
And
for
I
sure. Yeah.
absolutely love that because we need that out
Yeah.
here. So, and just shout out to you for picking that unique niche. I think that that's important as an entrepreneur to make sure we are doing something that we know is going to solve the problem. That's what helps us scale as business owners. You got to
True.
be able to solve the problem, people.
Yeah. True. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So, what's upcoming for you? What's 2026 got in store for you?
So I'm trying to, well, I'm in the not trying to, I am.
Period. We
Yeah,
claim.
I am clock it. I am, doing some more workshops. So I'm located in Atlanta, so hosting workshops on mental health, on clutter,
Love
on
it.
just teaching people the one-on-one basics of, like, how to be organized, how to create simple, easy systems, nothing complex,
Right.
small labels, bins, tubs, like very one-on-one. So just I'm trying to shift into teaching people like
I love
you
that.
can be organized. I know it's not a skill that you're born with, but you can learn it. It's very easy. Just again, it's just like you said earlier, it's a mind mental shift, it's a habit shift. That's all. And I'm here to like help others. So
I love that.
um I tend to, gravitate towards working moms because that's what I am. But I have a lot of women that are entrepreneurs and men
Yeah.
too that reach out like, "Hey, I need help." So entrepreneurs, I have a lot of people that have reached out lately about that as well, just building their schedule and all that. So just I want to teach more next year.
Awesome.
I want to
I
teach
love
more,
that.
help more. Yeah.
I love that. And you guys, her details will be in the show notes. So if you want to reach out to Ashley and inquire more about her services, all those details will be in the show notes. So you'll definitely be able to have easy access to reach out to her. I do think she's providing an amazing service all the way around. And we're going to claim that. We're going to have you come back when you get back and when you get into your teaching so we can go ahead and hear all about it. You know what I'm
Sounds
saying?
good.
So we
I'm
definitely
down.
going to have you come back. So please let everybody know where we can find you at on socials and all that good stuff.
So you can find me on Instagram at Outstanding Organizers with an S. And then my website has all my information on there, outstandingorganizers.com.
All right.
Everything's on there. So you can find me there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming in, sharing your expertise,
Thank
dropping
you.
some gems. We know organization and time management is a big thing on
Yes.
the entrepreneur journey. So I want to know you guys got value from this episode. Please leave a comment, like it, share it with somebody who you may feel like may be struggling with a little of organization and time management skills. It's okay. You're sending them a piece of support, and I love that.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Before I go, make sure you're following The Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship on your favorite podcast streaming platform, and we'll holla back. Till next time.